This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Potsy and Tino on the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world.
I hope you hear us because we can't hear.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. But anyways, our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents.
99 Jones.
If you can't hear us, let us know in the comments. It's totally fine if you can't hear us. We'll figure out why not, and we'll fix it. But I think you guys can hear us. We just couldn't hear any of our music or anything.
Michael Turner, can you hear us?
He said hi.
Listen, the thing says it's picking up.
Well, that's saying the mic's picking up, but we're not hearing anything out of speakers. So,
Hi, Mike. Can you hear us? Well, I mean, I know I can figure it out. But you don't like it when I do this.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, we're good. Cool. All right. So, what we basically did was Tino and I. Really? Jesus, you're not even drinking. You damn near shit yourself, and now all of a sudden you feel so much better, apparently.
That's how you can do it.
Oh, well, come on. You know I would actually tell the story if it was me. So maybe next time we don't eat Hooters.
Okay, I got you now.
Uh-oh. I think this is another flat one.
I hope the fuck it is.
It's not, but it didn't open. Like, it didn't make a psh or anything.
Yeah, it did.
No, it made the crack. But then, anyways.
Sorry about that.
So Tino and I just got done watching AEW's All In pay-per-view.
Jones.
Pay-per-view Jones. So anyway, we just got done watching the pay-per-view. It started at 11 a.m. today, Tino.
I wasn't here.
No, and here's what's funny is typically when Tino and I do these AEW pay-per-views together, it's like you got 5 hours of actual pay-per-view, and then you've got like 0 hour, which is normally an hour before it. So when we were going to the movie theater and watching these things, we would be there for 6 fucking hours.
No, it was 7 to 12. It's still 5 hours. It was started 7.
Oh yeah, because it was a 4-hour pay-per-view.
You get pissed off, and I'm like, no, I'm going to get on my damn money. I'm just gonna meet you at 8. Fuck you. I'll be there at 7. I paid for this.
I'll be eating my popcorn.
Shit before I get there.
Anyway.
All right, so this fucker, no, bitch, no. I'm gonna tell him. So this fucker, I'm leaving my house. He goes, "Hey, you want Hooters?" I'm like, "All right." I hadn't eaten Hooters in a while, so we ate Hooters, right? And so it's cool. And the show's going towards the end of the show. You can feel my stomach.
The burble gurgles.
I'm like, well, maybe I don't know what the fuck that is, right? So the show's over. He came up here to set this up.
Bubble Gut Jones.
I don't know what the fuck it was. So we're like, I was telling Rob, like, when you go to take a piss, right? You're like, oh, let this fart out when I piss. But I that fart and I felt it come like, nope, and I squeezed my butt cheeks real hard and then turned around and sat on the toilet. And it's like, I guess the damn Hooters didn't agree with me. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I mean, it is about that 5 hour, like, okay, it's probably got to be expelled.
Yeah, but usually it's not like that. So I guess I hadn't really been eating
bad food.
Yeah, so I think my stomach, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, because you ordered a burger too. Like me, I ordered wings.
I like the Hooters, but I like their burgers too because it's like fresh, real. It's like it's real beef. It's not like that processed. I like their burgers.
So I was ordering off of Grubhub, and I have Grubhub Plus so that I get free delivery and everything. And a lot of places even give you what they call called priority, so that like
Mhm.
if they're grabbing 2 or 3 orders to take 2 or 3 places, if you put on the priority one, you get yours first,
Oh, okay.
right? So I always put that in. But when I was looking up the burger for you, like, and it was a double burger,
Yeah,
right?
it was.
Like, it had 2 patties on it. They actually offer the option of making it a triple or what they call a home run burger, which is 4 patties.
I'd have died.
And I thought about doing it just to fuck with you.
I couldn't have eaten that whole thing. I barely finished the double.
I thought about doing it just to fuck with you, and I was like, no, I can't do that because one, he won't want to pay for it at that point. Because I mean, like even with the Grubhub Plus, it's not cheap to order food. Like it was, I think because now the trick to getting things like Hooters is actually ordering kids meals, because it's like $7 for the kids meal, and you saw how much food I got for that.
Yeah, you told me my pad was $25. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, and that's because you still get hit with a service fee. You still get hit with having to tip. You still, so it's like, before you know it, like a $15 meal on there is $30. So it's like, okay, well, and I think today's was $56, so it was like, yeah, 25, call it even, whatever. But anyways, so we watched the pay-per-view, like the 0 hour stuff. Tino's sitting here going, no, they're not starting any wrestling until 11.
Because normally they do noon.
Or noon, yeah. And
that's normally they don't, right?
And they actually had like a 16-man tag team match that happened at like 11:30.
I guess when I got here at like 12:30, it was still going.
Yeah. No. That was the 8-man or the 10-man tag match that they had after. Because I guess Tony Khan really looked at this as his WrestleMania, right? Because it really, like, it was get everybody you possibly can on the card by having like 16-man tag matches, 10-man tag matches.
That's a good idea.
Like the trios match was 4 teams. Yeah. So I mean there was 12 people in that match, and I mean like the pay-per-view went fine. There was only one lull in the entire show to me. And you fell asleep during it, and I almost fell asleep during it.
I was tired.
It was, after 6 hours of wrestling, yes. I know. You've been helping your wife get her classroom set up.
It was the first time I've actually sat still in 2 days, and it was like,
and yeah, but there was, I mean, that was the only lull of the entire pay-per-view. But let's go ahead and
all right. So 0 hour, and I missed it. I'm mad I missed it. Willow Nightingale and Ishii against Statlander and Stokely. You watched it, so
I did, and just as you would expect, it was more of a comedy act than it was an actual wrestling match. Because Ishii is known for being like this just monster in the ring, and nobody wants to face him. Well, Stokely slapped him at one point, and Ishii just looked at him, and Stokely was like, "I'll be right back." He ducked out of the ring. And then there's another moment where he, and by the way, folks, spoilers. We're gonna spoil the show. And then Stokely actually, like, Statlander went up and like hit Ishii with a couple moves, and just as he was coming at her to hit her, Stokely gave him a spine buster.
Stokely gave some.
and RJ City, you heard him go, "That's it, I'm calling it now. Stokely in the G1 next year." It just made me laugh. But Willow and Ishii, as expected, went over in the match. There was no way that Stokely was going to win this match. Statlander could have, but there was no way that Stokely was winning this match.
So then we had Dustin, Sammy, Shibata, and the Von Erichs against Cage and the Gates of Agony with Taven and Bennett.
Now I want to talk about how this match started with Brian Cage coming down wearing Wolverine gear like he always does because he calls himself Swolverine. But then Sammy Guevara came down wearing Wolverine gear for the other team. Like, I literally thought Sammy Guevara was going to turn on his team just because they were dressed alike. Which is just, and on Twitter, there was someone that actually said, "Are they really this stupid?"
Yeah.
And it just, I read that to you and you started laughing. Yeah. I started laughing. The match itself, it was fine for what it was. Dustin Rhodes being a 2 different champion in Ring of Honor at this point. Okay, it's great that he's got some championship belts at this point. You know, like giving him his flowers, giving him his due, all that stuff is great because I mean he is working better than a lot of the guys half his age right now.
Yes.
But nobody cares about Ring of Honor. I'm sorry, nobody cares about it at this point.
Well, I mean, they're not doing themselves any favors by not really doing anything with it. You know what I mean? So,
Correct. I 100% agree. But the match was fine for what it was. Tino's sitting there asking the question of why do people wrestle without shoes on? And he's right. I mean, Matt Riddle did it, you know, and Matt Riddle's like one of the legit badasses of the sport, so you kind of understand why he can get away with it. But like Tino said, what did you say about it?
I'll stomp on your foot.
Yeah, because at some point it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
like it might not hurt the first one,
I'll stomp on your.
but you're gonna feel it, and you're probably gonna break some toes and shit,
Yeah.
you know. So it just doesn't make sense.
Then we had Saraya bringing out her whole damn family.
Like, and it was like 38 people.
And then she got in there. I didn't really get to hear it because I think the food got here by then. And next thing I know was we hear the music.
Bump, bump,
And then
bump, bump, bump.
Jamie Hayter came out and cleared the ring, so I guess she's back. So
Jamie Hayter with the worst entrance music
Hey.
of any professional wrestler. I got to give her credit though, because I remember the theme song.
it was.
So
that was cool.
yeah,
So-
that although Jamie Hayter coming out as a redhead was odd.
Yeah.
Odd.
We got the FTW Championship matchup first with Hook and Jericho.
That wasn't first.
Well, I'm going from bottom to top. I guess I can do this. 16-man tag, blah 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 blah. ECE, 10-man tag. Jamie Hayter returns. Ladder match for the trios. It was the Guns. It was
the Guns. It was the House of Black. It was the Patriarchy.
and then the team that because I didn't watch Collision last night,
Right.
Which ended up being the Combat Club,
The Blackpool Combat Club and Pac.
and Pac.
Yeah.
We were having problems getting the.
Yes, our stream kept going out. Not going to explain why that was the case.
We saw the end where Pat went up and he pulled the belts down.
Pulled the belts down. Apparently, during that match, however, there was some interesting moments with the Patriarchy where Killswitch and Christian Cage ended up having some disagreements. So we'll get to that. Hey, what's up, Mr. Helios? Yeah, we weren't really expecting it either, but we decided to watch All In today, and it just got over. So we are.
Yeah, it's in the full show. This is just results and reactions. So a full show will still be, I guess, Thursday.
Yeah, we'll still do a show, and it might even be a short show on Thursday too. But yeah, we figured we'd go through the results, give our opinions of what happened during the matches, and just go from there. Because I mean, 6.5 hours of actual like matches on a pay-per-view, like if we were to do that on Thursday night, we wouldn't talk about anything else.
And we still got to get predictions for the 2 pay-per-views next week.
Yeah.
So
there's 2, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's
NXT and
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we might have a full show just from doing predictions. The match that we're talking about, the trios match, fun match from what we got to see. You always expect good stuff from the House of Black. You always expect good stuff from the Patriarchy. If you ask me, like Tino doesn't always. Tino, as soon as he sees he's like, why is that motherfucker got to be wearing that damn sleeveless turtleneck?
It's so stupid to me.
It
Robin goes, I love it. I'm like, it's so dumb.
It is the best Christian we've ever had. Anyways, we will get back to the Patriarchy a little bit later.
Tony Storm and Mariah May.
I thought that this match, being as early as it was in the show, was a complete disservice to the amount of work that these two women put into making this match what it was. Up until just a couple weeks ago, I said that this match actually had more build-up than what ended up being the main event. And I thought that with Mariah May being a hometown girl, that maybe you actually get the hometown female in the main event spot, but Tony Khan still went traditional the way he's been ever since he started it. But having it second, I thought was a complete disservice to the amount of work that they put into it. It should have been second to last. If it was gonna be second somewhere, it should have been right before the main event. especially since it's for the World Women's Championship, right? Not the TBS Championship. This match was great.
Oh yeah,
Mariah May put in the work.
They were stiff too. They were stiff. I was not even because I kept saying to Rob, like, look at, because she kept chopping Tony's chest, and you could see the whelps and the
she had this huge like
blood vessels.
Yeah, just horrible on the one shoulder.
They were chopping the shit up. And then at one point, I was telling Rob, at one point, Mariah May went out of the ring and she walked up to her mom. You're like, oh, her mom's there. And she slaps the shit out of her mom. And I told Rob, I was like, let me tell you something. I don't care what it is. If I'm at a wrestling event and my kid comes up and slaps me, I'm hopping the guardrail. I'm like, who are you hitting?
Yeah, you don't get to hit me.
You don't get to hit dad, no.
Well, and then my favorite part there was that in a totally not shocking move there, Toni Storm goes out and consoles the mom for a second. Which I really was hoping that Mariah May was going to come and try to like tackle and dive into the crowd, take out her mom, but that didn't happen. But interestingly enough, every one of the wrestlers that bled won their matches tonight.
Yeah, Toni Storm bled. She lost.
No, it was Mariah May that was bleeding.
Storm was bleeding first.
No, the big cut over the head of Mariah May.
He gave her the Storm Zero on the stairs.
Yeah, on the stairs. She was a bloody mess, which, obviously is a British term, but at the same time, digressing. Great match. The right person went over. I called Mariah May winning the match in her home country. You thought that at this point we'd already had, I guess, 3 championships or first 2 championships in the first 2 matches changed hands. And suddenly I was thinking, oh man, what if every single title changes hands? Well, that didn't happen. But
with this next match kept the momentum going because it was Jericho and Hook.
Yes, so Jericho and Hook
with the kinesio tape on his eye.
Kinesio tape Jones over there, wearing the damn kinesio tape on his face. We were afraid that when he pulled it off, he was gonna end up pulling off his eyebrow. His whole eyelid just would be missing. He wouldn't be able to sleep for a month.
So it started out at 3-on-1, so I was like, "This is how it's gonna."
It was pretty much a 3-on-1 the entire match, and then
I said that he pull out the cricket ball, so you just just throw him at him, and then later on he just started chucking the balls.
He literally was throwing cricket balls at Jericho.
When he swatted that ball, he's gonna hit the fans.
Yeah, like he took a swing at it with a cricket bat, and I was like, he could hit the fans with that. Like that would not have been good.
No,
like that would have caused some sort of commotion. And the crowd was rowdy. But then we got something that neither of us really expected to see.
I was like, I just said, wouldn't it be cool? But we didn't expect. I said, well, he's injured, he's retired. But no. So it was one point where Hook had taken care of everybody. He had Jericho in the Red Room, which is the Taz mission, and Big Bill was it Big Bill?
No, it was Brian
Keith was getting up. And Taz goes, well, if that's how they're going to do it, I'm going to invest myself.
And you just hear like the headphones shuffle and everything else, and the microphone's off or whatever. And before you know it, Taz is up there. His jacket's over his shoulder.
And he didn't even get it hooked in. It wasn't even hooked. He didn't have it locked. He's like one arm.
He's like trying to put him in the Taz mission.
And Keith was selling it like he had it.
He's like, oh my God. But it was great to see Taz actually get a little bit involved. And afterwards, Taz ended up hugging Hook because Hook won back the FTW championship. I think
it took the decal off the belt.
Yeah, there was a decal on it that said like Learning Tree or something, and he ripped it off.
For the world, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, for the world instead of fuck the world. But
here's another thing I didn't. So Jericho sang himself to the ring.
Yes,
with Potsy. But you couldn't hear him.
Right.
You could not hear him. I'm like, dang, what was the point?
Well, I wonder if it was because
the outside stadium.
Well, AEW has had troubles with their microphones in the past, right? But the band sounded great.
Oh, band! That's what I said. I'm like, I like the band.
Yeah, I mean, Potsy sounded great, but him singing, it just wasn't loud enough. And we know he was really singing. It wasn't like lip syncing. So I think that had something to do with it. Storm May was a good one. I did see highlights of that one. Yes, it was an excellent match. The Chris Jericho match I thought was fine for what it was.
Mhm.
But like I told you, I don't think it helps Hook's character at all. It really just put him back in the same position he was before he was working Jericho.
I think it does help Hook though, because he is still. I don't say he's green as he was, but he's still learning, he's still building him, and to have a program with the Jericho, that has to help him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that they're gonna push Hook. I mean, Tony loves Hook,
Yeah.
so they're gonna push him. But I mean, he's not ready to jump up to a TNT. What was it? TNT title or the world title? He still has to earn his stripes, and I think doing a program with a Chris Jericho can only help to make him better.
Well, I think at this point he could actually sit there and say, "I'm retiring the championship, giving it back to my dad, and now it's time to look forward."
Well, you never know what he'll do next week.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's what I would do with it, though.
Yeah.
Is at this point, like, why would anybody want to go after that belt? Like, there's no real reason behind it.
Well, they had a 24/7 belt in WWE for no reason.
No. That was a Vince McMahon thing, and that was the reason. But otherwise, they don't have that belt anymore. What was next?
The Bucks.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to talk about that match because we knew it was going to happen, right?
Well, we didn't. We were hoping that the Acclaimed was going to pin FTR. Instead, it was the Bucks that pinned FTR, and it didn't help anybody.
And right when I said, who the hell now? Who's gonna challenge now? Who else do they have? And it hadn't even come out of my mouth. And the grizzled young
veterans
came
end up beating down FTR,
so
who just lost the match, and
Yeah.
then they get beat down. It really, like, what was the point of having them stare down the Bucks just to beat down FTR?
Well, I think too. You got they're from London. They're right down over from Liverpool. So that was just for
shits and
pop,
giggles.
yeah. So
So the Young Bucks retained.
yeah.
Not happy about that.
What is this next one? Oh, the Casino Gauntlet match.
So this had some nice surprises in it. I didn't necessarily like the order that the people showed up because so Ricochet showed up in it, and another surprise happened. But the second surprise was really the first surprise because it happened really early in the match. Nigel McGuinness, for the first time in like 20 years, was in the ring. Because, I mean, we're talking old TNA days.
Yeah.
So 2006, so 17, 18 years?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, so and he looked great. Like, he wasn't gassed. He actually kept up with these young guys.
We kind of thought that he might win it, because we knew, well, if Danielson won, we figured that Nigel would go after Danielson. I'm like, well, that'd be interesting.
Well, and I think that's why Nigel was in the match to begin with, was just in case. But I think that the reason why they didn't give us that victory from Nigel was because I think that really would have told the story of, hey, Nigel and Danielson are going to happen. You couldn't give away the end to Danielson swerve already. Because Nigel has been, for lack of a better term, sucking Swerve's dick for the past couple weeks while trashing Bryan Danielson the entire time, right?
Yeah.
So the idea there was Nigel actually showing up in this match means that Nigel's back, I guess. I guess he can be a wrestler now. And here's the thing. If Danielson wins at the end of the night, it doesn't mean that Nigel's not going to get a match against him.
Yeah.
It just means that he doesn't have a guaranteed match against him. Like, Danielson's going to give him a match. Just makes sense, right? So, all right.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr. was in it, and he looked great. Him and Nigel like did a catch as catch can clinic for like 5 minutes in that match.
Oh my god!
But then our last two competitors in it, if I remember correctly, were Christian Cage, who had lost earlier in the night in the trios match, and then not Kill Switch, but Luchasaurus came back. And just when you thought he was going to choke slam Christian, he choke slams. Who was it that he choke slammed?
Who did he choke slam? It was
was it Sabre?
On top of him.
That doesn't matter. He choke slams
O'Reilly.
Oh, Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah, he choke slams Kyle O'Reilly, and then he picks Christian up and just drags him over him. So Christian wins the world title shot, and I think it's at Arthur Ashe Stadium for Grand Slam. I don't know for a fact, so we'll have to figure out like when he actually gets, and by Wednesday I think we'll know when he gets to cash that in. But another fun match.
Yes.
I didn't like that we didn't really know the rules. You know, Jeff Jarrett was in there.
Because I was thinking it was because when they were pinning, nobody was trying to stop the pin. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's like last man standing. But no, when Christian made that one pin, I guess it was one pin to a finish. So
yeah, so
one ball to a finish.
It's kind of an odd situation there. Next up,
I lost my place. Osprey.
So Osprey versus MJF. Not an hour-long match this time. And you know what? The match was not repetitive like the hour-long match was. Remember how I complained about like as good of a match as it was, I don't need to see him do the back handspring move 7 times in a match. And we didn't get that. We actually got a full-on strength versus strength type match from the two of them. When MJF's coming down to the ring, Tino sits there and goes, "Why is this motherfucker got to be looking like Apollo Creed?"
Living in America.
And he wanted to hear "Living in America," and instead we still just got MJF's music. Osprey came down with a bunch of ninjas, real ninjas. I'm not trying to make a joke there. And when he's coming down, the one ninja girl kept slipping
on the damn money from where that
from Okada. From Okada in his match. But this match was excellent. Dave Meltzer's going to give it 5.5 stars. I'm going to say it was a solid B+ to an A- for what those two are capable of doing.
They give it an A.
Well,
Bleacher.
Yeah, I would say Bleacher Report always like they're fair in that they didn't give it an A+.
Mm-hmm.
There were some slips in the match, not anything that caused, but there was one time where Osprey like got pile driven on his head and it looked rough. He was able to recover from that. There were moves done on the outside of the apron that were just devastatingly ill looking moves. But we kept the streak going of all the titles. No, all the titles except for the tag titles at this point had changed hands.
Yeah.
So 4 out of 5.
And next we got Britain Mercedes.
And Tino fell asleep during this match. In fact, the crowd fell asleep during this match. That crowd was so hot for Osprey. Like when he came down, Wembley Stadium was shaking. And when he ran into the ropes and did the like to get everybody to Osprey with him, like they Ospreyed all over the place. Like they Ospreyed everywhere. Exactly. They Osprey everywhere. That place, and what made it even funnier was when MJF came down to the ring, got into the ring, he had these little fireworks going on.
Because Bob made a point of Osprey had all the pyros, even they were showing
outside the giant pyro, like at the end of WrestleMania, the giant pyro going off.
And then MJF had up the four on the floor, and they're like
it was like sparklers. It was like Roman candles.
That's fucked up. That's funny.
And then after the match, same thing. Osprey got the giant reception of explosions.
Whoa. They tried to hand him the American belt, and Osprey's like this. And Christopher Daniels came in with the original.
Where the hell did he come from though? Because he came from the other side.
Yeah,
he didn't come down from the ramp or anything. He came.
No, dude, I have no clue.
He just all of a sudden he comes out from like underneath the announce table or something.
Yeah, so whatever belt that is, I forget what it's
the
called.
International title. They gave him back the international title. Sorry, Liz. We will not talk about your comment there. But thanks for viewing us on Twitch. But yeah, so the title that keeps changing names is changing.
Well, it only changed the name that once because MJF was being a dick.
No, but it had changed before when Orange Cassidy had it, because it went from being the it had another name and then it became the International Championship. Remember, it was like the interworld, like it was
something. This one's better.
the Continental title or something like that.
I
Yeah,
think it's probably too close to Intercontinental. That's probably why they changed it.
Maybe. So okay.
So we start talking about the Brit and the we never finished the Brit and Mercedes.
No, so yeah, we got to this match, and
what was the point of her coming in the carriage like 4 corgis?
So the corgi is typically like the royal dog.
Mm.
So and it's also the face of Dogecoin, which is the
Okay, I was just trying to figure
money
out
stuff. So I would assume that that's part of it. But they were doing special entrances for a lot of different people.
Mhm.
Britt Baker did not get a special entrance.
Mm-mm.
We got exactly what I expected out of the match. Mercedes ends up winning with that horrible finishing move that she's got. I mean, they might as well just call it the "I'm going to push her on her face."
No, she was some kind of back thing. I don't know what the hell.
Well, yeah, it starts as like getting ready to do like a back widow's peak, and then she spins her around, and
I didn't like it at all.
no, it's terrible. It looks bad. It nobody has sold it well. Like it's never like I don't think it's been done properly yet. But Mercedes goes over in the match. The match was fine, but it was long.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Tino actually fell asleep during the match. I actually told him I was like if this crowd doesn't wake up during this match, I am going to fall asleep. And then he fell asleep. The crowd was completely dead for that entire match.
Yeah, I don't think they enjoyed it too much.
No, I don't think they enjoyed it. I think that the everything got taken out of them because of the Ospreay win. But that's where we are. So
yeah, I agree, Michael.
We all agree that the DMD should have won the match. I think that it's because Britt's getting back from her suspension, so you've got to do the honors in a couple of those. You know, the way the old school wrestling gods have always been about that is you gotta pay back after you make the mistakes. Yeah. So I kind of think that that's why she had to let Mercedes go over on her. And yeah, I think that's what happened.
Coffin match.
Second to last match of the night, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so Darby Allin versus Scapegoat Jack Perry. This match was a lot shorter than I expected. I wonder if it's because the match before it was so long.
Probably.
That they ended up having to cut time. This match was a spot fest. Darby Allin came down with thumbtacks gorilla glued to his face. They admitted it was gorilla glue that he used to put those thumbtacks on his face. He's that fucking stupid. Jack Perry ends up taping his hands together with Kinesio tape.
No, you said it was painter's
tape. I said it was painter's tape.
I said it was duct tape Jones.
Duct tape Jones.
Then he tied his
and took his belt off him. And by the way, when Jack Perry went to take Darby Allin's belt off, he looked like he was trying to reach for his junk.
That's what I said. What's this kinky stuff, Jones?
Yeah, what is this kinky stuff, Jones? And I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, I just turn and I look at kinky stuff, Jones. And by the way, the Jones joke is because Taz just sits there and says,
"What started it?" He said something.
He said something very early in the night, and you and I just kept.
It was something Jones, like low blow Jones, or it was something Yambag Jones. It was something.
It was not Yambag Jones, because I would have laughed at that one all night long. But it was during the FTW match, and so it was early on in the card, and whatever. But yeah, so Tino and I just kept saying
everything
Jones after that. So that's why even our All In Reactions Jones topic is up there. The match was a spot fest. Like, if anybody expected anything else, you weren't going to get it. There was fuck CM Punk chants going on. Yeah, duct tape as their new sponsor. Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, after taping, okay. So Jack Perry, after he taped his hands together and then took his belt and wrapped his feet in it,
He started doing
started going like this,
started hopping,
and then all of a sudden Darby tried to get up, and he just looked at him. He's like, "See."
I think he just fucking pushed him off the stage. I'm like, that's not going to be good, and he pushed him off.
And it was like 15 feet of a drop.
I'm
Now
like, that's not a good idea.
just randomly, there happened to be two tables there.
Thank God it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they weren't. Well, actually, Darby is the type that they would have just pushed him off, and there wouldn't have been anything down there.
So he went down, put him in the body bag,
Put him in a body bag,
put him in the coffin. Darby came up at first like he was going to come out, and then he just I don't know where Jack disappeared to. He's off camera. Then he just came back into view and just fucking kneed him, and then closed it up and poured gas in the.
Young Bucks came down. One of them had fully shaven off his mustache and beard by this point. You even made mention of it.
Yeah.
You were like he doesn't have a beard now, and then all of a sudden he comes down later and he doesn't have a mustache now. It's like, well, I guess he just went in the back and said, "Fuck this mustache."
So he poured gas in the coffin. Then he closed it, poured gas on top of the coffin. And
before this match happened, I actually said I expected an appearance from somebody, and you were like, "Nah, he's retired."
No, you said that when the lights went out.
Well, no, I said it earlier though, and you were like, "No, they wouldn't have him do that."
So,
and then the lights go out.
Here's where I had a problem.
Okay.
Sting is 65 years old, right? He's way at the top of this ramp,
and he walked.
He walked
all the way.
Why wouldn't you just set the bitch on fire and run? No, you're gonna Sting and go and run into the ring.
like you would have accidentally dropped the lighter.
I'm like, take one more step, bitch.
Yeah. Now I have to say that this is twice that AEW has threatened fire, and we have not gotten fire either time.
No, but because the first time he did like jack up. I think they were like, no, he's a little too dangerous with that flamethrower. Remember? He did light him up.
Well, no, but the first time with the gasoline was in the Blood and Guts match, and they threatened it and didn't have it. So I have a feeling we're going to get an Inferno match between the two of them. It's got to be, right?
Or an exploding rings match again where it goes
the MJF sparkling.
Yeah.
Again, the match was fine for what it was. Sting, they did something different with his makeup tonight, and I so normally Sting just would put the white on his face, and recently it started adding a little black shadow around it or whatever to kind of go with the Darby Allin face paint idea, the face paint Jones, but tonight. Sting's face paint went all the way back to his hairline, which is up here now. Like it's kind of where mine is right here. So it was fully black all the way up there. It looked like it went into his hair.
Yeah.
All the way down the sides. Like his ears were normal, but everything else had black all the way around until you got to the white face paint.
It was terrible.
It really looked
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
Terrible. So yeah, it was nice seeing him back, but why the fuck does he always have like a winter jacket on? Like just have a t-shirt.
Well, when he comes out, they got the winters here, they got the snow and everything.
Oh, so sales of the winter jacket.
It goes in, but it goes on with his little thing with the snow coming down,
and of course, as soon as the lights go out, the lights come back on. Tony Schiavone.
Of course, that's his bread and butter. He ain't had a chance to say it since Sting retired.
Since March when we were at the match.
So he had to be out.
And
he came down to Seek and Destroy, which was cool.
Yes, he did come down to Seek and Destroy, which I guess now because he's going to have such limited appearances on camera, they're going to allow him to license Metallica's music again. One other thing that I want to talk about is that after the matches ended, but before the people got out of the ring, they would start advertising the next match in the bottom corner.
I don't know why they're like just flying through them like that. I don't get that.
But. Yeah, it's normally like they would talk to the like in WWE they talk to the announcers for a little bit. They they clean up the ring. They do this. They do whatever. They would just put that in the bottom left corner, and it was like Britt Baker hasn't even gotten up yet. Just let her get out of the ring before you put it up.
Horrible.
No, I think it was actually for pacing purposes. You know, obviously, like they did hit their mark at the end of the pay-per-view, but we get to the main event.
Yep, here we go.
Bryan Danielson comes down to the final countdown.
Final countdown.
And I mean, like, as soon as that music hit, I was like, oh shit, Tino. I know that this was like his indie theme, and I know Europe charges like $100,000 every time you want to use it. It might even be more. They might actually say $1 million. I don't know. But he came down to that music. His family's in the audience. He goes up. He gives his family a hug.
Birdie and Buddy.
Birdie, Buddy, and Bree for Bryan Danielson. Yeah, the B family, the B team, if you will, and then Swerve, like
they drives.
Well, they had Jones. They had I guess like a DJ out there, and he's like UK in the house, and they're all like, what the fuck is he saying? Like they did, and you could even see it on his face. He was like, I'm disappointed in this 50,000 people crowd. And then he's like, so whose house is it? And it's like, no, it's whose house, you know, like, so he's not even getting it right. It's like, anyways.
But then my favorite one next to him came down. So they actually had the dudes that again, they had people who do Swerve's music. Now the dude, I swear when I drive, I'm like, that bitch is lip syncing. But then the dude who was actually did the rap, he was rapping him again. So I'm like, oh, he's not lip syncing.
Yeah, and it looked like they actually turned off the lip sync for the other guy too, because all of a sudden, like, he was off tune.
Yeah,
you know. But Swerve comes down to the ring. Dapper Yapper comes out and actually sits there and starts doing the announcements. Nana grabs the microphone from him and goes, "Whose house?" The whole crowd. I mean, for Swerve playing the role of heel, Tino was absolutely right. The crowd was electric for him. By the way, I don't know what happened between the Mercedes and Britt match, the Darby versus I mean, Sting woke the crowd up, I think. But then when we got to the final countdown,
oh god, that
place was lit up like fucking Christmas. And I'm talking from the people like just cheering. And like they woke up. They I mean, they were like, I don't know if they all went to a bathroom break for the Brit match or what, but they were alive for this match. This easily is why a 50,000 person arena, if you get the sound levels right of the audience, they make the match special. And this match was, I don't even know what Bleacher Report gave it. I'm assuming it was an A.
Let's see.
Might not have been an A+, but I would assume for ambiance, features, and everything else, they probably gave it an A+. But Swerve, like, when they introduced him,
A+.
Yeah, when they introduced Swerve got a mixed reaction from the crowd. But when they would yell "whose house," instantly they're Swerve's house. You know, like, they're all about that. But you know, Danielson sat there and just one time like this, and the entire crowd is going, yes, 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 yes. Match was superb.
Solid.
Like, Danielson is a maestro in there. And Swerve, like, the one criticism I would have had for Swerve in this match was how smooth he was trying to be with his transitions, but yet it looked like he was using more energy than he needed to for those transitions. Sorry, my monitor wants to go into standby mode, and I don't want it to.
Stand by me.
Yeah,
your TV almost did that shit too.
Yeah. Well, that's something I can turn off on the TV. With this, it's because they want to keep the monitor in like top performing shape. Anyways, so Swerve, like, he would do these like spins over him, and he would always roll him into like picking him up to do it. And it was like at some point, and the announcers never said anything about it, but at some point, this would have been something where someone should have said, if he keeps doing this, Danielson's going to outlast him just because of the expenditure of extra energy. And they never said it. They never went into it. And I really am disappointed in them for not picking up on it. Good old JR was back for this match. It was the only match of the night that he was down there for.
Somebody needs to put in an offense. You're like, no shit, JR.
Yeah, like at one point, and this was after they'd been punching and kicking each other in the face, and JR sits there and goes, man, I really wish one of these men would put in some offense. And I'm like, and I literally said, what the fuck do you think they're trying to do, JR? Like literally, they were trying to do that. Danielson gets busted open pretty early in the match, and he gets busted open on the front of his head when he took a move on the back of his head.
No, I think he flipped him and he went head first on the ring bell. Go back
and watch. No, he hit right here because it was like a Death Valley driver. So when he let him down right here. Now he could have been bleeding from the back of his head so badly that it was rolling onto the front of his face, but like, and then 10 seconds later, he is a crimson mask. It was like droplets, and then it was, yeah, Oh, we didn't even talk about the broken glass spot of the Jack Perry match. Yeah. Anyways, Jack Perry got busted open with broken glass all over his back. Cry him a river. But this match was back and forth. They got to the point where Swerve had done the drive-by kick
or something, and they dropped it on his neck. And they called the doctors.
Oh yeah, they brought the doctors in. Nana actually said that he was like, I think he broke his arm. Now he didn't break his arm, but in fact, nothing in that made it look like he broke his arm. Now, could he have gotten a stinger in his neck? Because Danielson, you never know if he's really hurt or if he's selling. But towards the end of the match, his right arm was not moving. Like he was not lifting it. He wasn't using it. It was just down. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, most of his offense towards the end of matches is always going to be kicks anyway. Yeah. Until he goes for like the label lock. And when he went for like the label lock, Swerve kept being able to break the hold because
his arm was worn down.
So great storytelling. The match itself was just superb. It really is like, I mean, if someone is trying to learn professional wrestling as an art, this was a masterpiece. Yes. And you got to give both of them credit because Swerve was a babyface before this feud. Mm-hmm. It didn't look like the feud was going to build up very well at the beginning. They were able to recover there and really build this up and force Swerve into a heel spot because they really made Bryan Danielson look like the babyface, like going into this.
Towards that end where he started getting like just hulking up because just looking at his family and throwing everything at him.
Yeah, so there was one point where Swerve actually was getting ready to do those kicks to the head that Danielson does, and he rolled him out of the ring right in front of his family, so in front of his 6-year-old daughter and I guess his 2-year-old son, and just started kicking the fuck out of him in front of his family.
I'm talking about he rolled him back in the ring towards the end.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
he was doing the yes kicks, and Danielson was like, and just kind of hulked up and stood up.
Well, there was that, but even before that, they had the moment where Danielson was like looking over into the corner where his family was, and he was putting his hand out like this, and he was saying, "I'm sorry." And then Swerve came and gave him one of those drive-by kicks to the side of the head, and Danielson, kicked out of the pin. Then they did it again. He did like 3 of them at one point.
He hit that knee on Swerve, and Swerve just.
Oh, well, Swerve did get knocked into the corner. He hit the running knee that he always hits. And Swerve just like bounced off and he goes. And Danielson at that point was like, I don't know what else to do. Like they both had the Sting Hulk up moment, or the Hulk Hogan Hulk up moment. Mm-hmm. The Danielson one at the end, though, where Swerve was doing Danielson's own kicks to him. And during it, you could just see Danielson looking over at his family going, I love you all. I love you all. And I didn't know if that was going to be he's going to get knocked out from these kicks. But no, he's just standing up, getting all the way up to his feet. Swerve is sitting there like, I'm kicking this motherfucker as hard as I possibly fucking can. And he's just like eating him. And then he just turns and looks at Swerve. And it's like he saw The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like he literally was like, where did this come from?
And then there was a commotion out in the audience.
Yeah, from the same corner that Bree and her family was in. So I was wondering, did Bree hop the guardrail?
Like, what? Twin magic.
Well, Tino at one point said, what if Bree switches with him for twin magic? And I was like, that's just stupid. That's just twin magic Jones. but like
Fucking
Hangman Adam Page
out of nowhere.
Literally
Yeah.
out of nowhere hops the guardrail and
Distracts
Swerve. Didn't finish the match when Danielson ends up hitting his finisher when Swerve turns around, and we go into we go into again the LeBell lock, and he's got him in it, and Swerve opens the hands up again, and then Danielson, in his best Pete Dunne impression, takes those fingers and just goes like this.
And it Swerve's like,
and then Swerve is tapping out like this with only 2 fingers. It was great. What made it weird at the very end, the family comes over the guardrail, they get in the ring, the Blackpool Combat Club comes down because obviously, a little wink to William Regal, Blackpool Combat Club. We're in London,
and Pop,
but Pac is in the ring with them, and he's not a member.
I guess he is now because they won the trio title.
So
my favorite part was all night. We were talking about how the confetti kept falling and all the strings kept falling in the ring. And Daniel Bryan's son's in the ring. And Daniel's trying to get his son to run through him. He's like, fuck this, Dad. I'm picking up confetti.
and then he's sitting there. He's like, come to me. And the kid literally looks like he doesn't know how to walk. He's
picking up confetti, dude.
He looks like a puppeteer puppet. But yeah, then he drops back down to the ground and starts picking up confetti again.
It was awesome.
The match was just, like I said, it was a masterclass. And now we get Danielson until I guess he loses. I would hope that we only see him wrestle once a month, maybe. I have a feeling he will lose at Wrestle Dream, which is in Seattle, so it's in his home state.
To who?
I could see it being Swerve again, because again, another Pacific Northwestern.
Washington, yeah.
I could see them doing that. I could see it being Hangman. Obviously, I could see it being a 3-way between the 3 of them because Danielson versus Hangman was an hour-long Iron Man match. I could see them, doing that, and then Danielson doesn't technically have to lose his final match to not be the champion going forward.
Yeah, I guess they can drop the strap to Hangman and he can continue his shit with Swerve. So.
He could drop it to Hangman. He could drop it back to Swerve. Swerve could get pinned by Hangman. Hangman could get pinned by Swerve. Danielson, odd man out. But, if you think about it, Danielson at the end of his WWE run, when he was champion, he would always lose. He wouldn't lose the belt. Someone else would pin the other guy. So it would almost be like a nice little send off in that way. So pay-per-view was good. Like I said, one down moment in the entire show. And that really, that Mercedes versus Britt match was easily the worst match of the night. I don't know what Bleacher Report gave it, but it was even the 16-man tag match and because the 16-man tag match had a moment where Sundam Singh is staring down Leo Rush.
Oh God.
And Leo Rush grabs it, sits on his leg and grabs it like a little baby would. And Sundam Singh just starts walking around.
They give it a B-.
A B-?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're generous. Can't wait to see Meltzer's score on it. And I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck what he says. But yeah, so if you get an opportunity to actually watch All In, I would recommend it. I thought that the show was great. I don't think you need to watch the 0 hour stuff if you're going to watch it.
Well, I want to watch the Statlander stuff.
I mean,
I did want to see that.
That should actually. Well, that was pre-show, so I mean, you can probably find it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go home and watch it.
Yeah, because you missed it. But otherwise, I mean, AEW shows once again why when they're actually doing a pay-per-view, they put on amazing matches. It's going to be interesting to see where Ricochet falls in all of this. I'm sure he got Will Ospreay money, but I have a feeling he's going to be run of the mill.
Yeah.
You know what I'd really like to see from him at some point? When Ospreay, after he's gotten, world title and whatever, and he wants to settle down and not wrestle as hard, I would love it if they were a tag team. Because they're so alike in what they can do. And I mean, when they work together, they're obviously, when they work opposite of each other, they're obviously magic, but it would be really cool to watch the two of them become like the high flying, highlight of the night type tag team, But yeah, so Folks, I don't really have anything else. I'm sure Tino wants to get home at some point tonight.
Yeah.
We've been on almost an hour just talking about the pay-per-view.
Wow.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it.
No.
But we had a blast watching the show, except for the Mercedes Brit match. I'll keep saying that. I think it's time to take the Potsy and Tino show Jones out.
Jones.
Tino, you want to go ahead and let everybody know how they can find you?
Jones.
You
can find me on
Michael Turner Jones
on the Twitter Jones at HoodieFan91 Jones. No, HoodieFan91. You can find me on Insta SCTino, Snap SCTino. TikTok is Tino R. Gray Music. You can find us here on the Pots and Pan Network here usually every Monday. This week will be Thursday. Today it's just a reaction show. Like and subscribe, buy our shit. Thank you to Adam's House Cat. You can find it on
iTunes.
on iTunes Jones for 99 cents 99
Jones.
99 Jones.
You can find me on Twitter at Podcheck. You can find me on Instagram at Rob Podcheck. You can find me on Instagram, my second account, Twitch, and Snapchat. I guess all is, as far as I know, it's Rob Potsy Podcheck. Actually, Potsy was taken on Snapchat because Potsy was taken, so I just made it Potsy was taken. And then, of course, like he said already, YouTube, we're right here. On Twitch, it's Rob Potsy Podcheck. And then, of course, on the Facebook page,
Potsy and Tino Show.
The Potsy and Tino Show. So, folks, we will see you guys on Thursday this week. We will try to be on at 8:30. Might be a little bit later than that, depending on what this gentleman's schedule looks like.
Oh, yeah, I should be good.
All right. Then we should be on at 8:30 on Thursday. And we'll be giving our predictions for.
Damn, what is that? That's NXT and
Bash in Berlin. Yeah, so Bash in Berlin predictions, the NXT what Heat Wave?
Something, yeah.
I don't even know which one it is, but yeah, I guess they're doing a Ethan Page show. And yeah, we'll be back then. I apologize if our brand stuff at the end here doesn't have music. I don't know what's going on with that, but we are out of here. See everybody later.
Jones.